Devon Baldwin from the Bay Area. Singer-songwriter.
We're interviewing you.
Tequila drinker.
And sitting in the lake, and he's like, I love that song.
Right on. How many instruments do you play?
We've interviewed.
I would say I play a half an instrument, and it's piano.
Okay.
I don't play well enough to perform comfortably live, but I can play enough to write songs by myself in my living room.
Okay. And do you write all your own songs?
I do, yeah. I either write everything or co-write. I'll start ideas, and then sometimes I need help finishing things because it's just, you know, once the inspiration leaves, sometimes it's hard to bring it home by myself. Classic ADD. You know, I like to start things and then forget about them.
I'm right there with you. And I read in college that you had met G-Eazy. Was he attending college with you? Was it like you guys were college buddies kind of thing?
Yes. So yeah, he was a junior when I got there. Yes? Yeah. He was a junior when I got there, and he was one of the only other people from the Bay that I met when I got down to New Orleans. So we just had this like, it was hyphy movement time, so we just bonded over our very white but hyphy situation. Yeah, and then we lived together and worked together. I used to ship his merch for years.
Oh.
I was in all the videos, I wrote the songs. Yeah, that was that.
That's cool. So I heard you had a lung collapse at one point. How did that injury affect your career at that time? I know that probably was around a real bad time in the world and everything, so like...
Yeah, the lung collapsing was an interesting one. I was just about to release Let's Get Lost with G-Eazy, which I wrote and performed on. And I was just like sitting on a couch and tried to crack my back and my lung ripped open. And then it happened again a month later and again another month later. So I was not allowed to lift anything over 3 pounds for 6 months. Couldn't sing. I had a doctor tell me that she wasn't sure I would ever be able to sing again, not because she knew anything, but she literally meant like, I don't know, but I interpreted it as you might not be able to. So that was terrifying. And I had to pretty much relearn how to sing, and I had the best vocal coach of all time, Amber Morris. I've had her since I was 13 years old. Her daughter is singing backgrounds for me today, which is very full circle, and I love it. But yeah, I had to like relearn the muscle memory basically. And I had several panic attacks in the process because I did have to perform Let's Get Lost when it came out, when I was actually allowed to sing, and it was terrifying.
Do you feel like it's like changed your voice at all? Like, do you feel like you have like a different tone and everything now?
No, it totally came back once I was able to sing again. It was totally fine. I did start smoking dope again. I called my thoracic surgeon and was like, is it okay if I smoke weed again? And he's like, yeah, you're good. We put staples in there. You're fine. So yeah, but it was definitely one of those moments where you're like, oh shit, like I need to A, take care of myself, and B, like this is not something that just is inherently there forever. Mm-hmm. So it was a good little wake up call to, you know, take my voice seriously, which is why I just started smoking weed again. Just kidding.
It's good for you.
But yeah, it was a wake up moment. New perspective on singing.
Definitely.
New appreciation too.
So what would you say your biggest inspirations and influence are in the music industry? Like, that is broad.
This question is so hard for me. But definitely Alanis Morissette and the Beatles were like my childhood influences. Also, my mom she started a new age label called Windham Hill. So there's a little bit of some like 80s new age stuff in there. But aside from that, I'm like Metric, Tame Impala, Lord, Banks. Yeah. And then also some classical influence because I sang classically for my degree. So it's
opera, right?
Yeah, opera. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of all over the place.
listen to. So I mean, yeah.
Thank you.
And that kind of goes back into like what you just said. Your mom was in that label and everything, but she's a producer, right?
Yes, she was.
How did that like work with you, like growing up with that? Like,
it was good. She was very supportive.
Okay.
She's also just naturally very critical in a good way, in a constructive way. But as a Pisces baby, it was kind of hard for me to adjust to. I'm like, oh, we don't get any sugarcoating around the around the critique. But we've both learned to communicate a little better. But yeah, no, it was very helpful. She's my number one supporter, and she knows what she's talking about. So I take her advice very seriously. Yeah, Dawn's great. We love Dawn.
so that's safe to say, like your family and friends are like big fans of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Big support system to
Oh
have.
yeah, I got a whole gaggle of girls coming.
So let's end it with this. If you could collaborate with one artist, say like tomorrow, any artist, you can't even like put it on like a little.
I know who it is.
Who
but
is
it's
it?
Very controversial right now.
No, I got
Frank
it.
Ocean.
That's awesome.
I love him. I know he did some questionable things at Coachella, but I love him. I think he's a phenomenal writer and producer. I love him. I would become a gay man for him. Yeah, that's my guy.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Whew.
Good job, yo.
Thanks.